Fetishization.
Yeah, fetishization.
Fetishization.
Is it word for that?
Fetishization. Yeah.
Fetishization.
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 Fetishization. It's either
Some fucking fetish.
Can you keep the secret?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Show everybody your shirt. Show your shirt. Show your shirt. Show your shirt. Show your shirt. Yeah. Yeah. So the concert was awesome last night. I couldn't get much footage last night because it was like really sweaty. I've never been so like soaking wet in my life. It was insane. So he was like, what did you say, wet dolphin?
It was like when we were jumping around and I can see people's skins on my skin, your skins on my skin.
Yeah.
It's like touching a dolphin.
Yeah, it was just, everybody was like moist. Very, very moist.
Moist.
Yeah, okay, so decided, I'm going home today, I'm going back to Pyeongtaek, and so we decided just to get a coffee and before I head back, but we got into some conversations, and the conversations we were talking about fetishisation.
Yeah, fetishisation.
Fetishisation.
Is it word for that?
Fetishisation. Yeah.
Fetishization.
Fetishisation.
Fetishization.
Fetishisation. It's either
Some fucking fetish thing. I don't know.
Yeah, so anyway, that's what we are talking about today. We both experienced being fetishized as far as like in Korea as well as I feel like out of Korea. One thing you don't hear about is like what it's like for Asian men to be fetishized and their experiences. So what would you say yours are?
I mean, I'm not gonna say I experienced it, but I've seen it a lot that is happening, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's obviously so many people out there dating, they're willing to date only one race, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. Some people only date black women, some people date only white men.
Mm-hmm.
And definitely there's some people who only like to date Asian men. And I've seen it a lot before, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And like, maybe my friend has a word for that. They call them, like, especially those, by the way, there's nothing personal in it, also no offense, but we just call those white girls who like to date Asian boys, we call them rice queen. They call it rice queen, you know, rice, Asian, we eat rice, whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And they like it's queen.
There's like a version for that. There's like a version for that for every race. Like people that like
like a yellow fever, you know, and
jungle fever.
Jungle fever.
Yeah, everyone has a version of that.
Yeah.
What is fetishization to you?
About a certain race.
Or just in like, how should I say, like to you, like if you feel like someone, if you feel that someone is fetishizing you, what does that, how would you know?
We can think about it in two ways here. Like, if you think about a fetish in general,
yeah.
Because when it comes to fetish, it means like certain things that makes you sexually turn on,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like an extra, you know.
Yeah.
So, and this kind of fetish is like we all got. You know? I'm pretty sure you got one, I got one too, and there's nothing bad I can say in common, you know. But it goes kind of like when it comes to there's certain things become a whole.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, imagine some people have a fetish about the girls with like thin eyebrow.
Okay.
Let's say that, you know. I don't know.
Is that a preference or a fetish?
There's difference because like fetish is much more like it's about sexual term. It's more sexual.
Yeah.
It's more sexual term.
Okay. Yeah.
So if somebody have like fetish about like food, example, he be like turn on some pretty girl's food. That's cool, you know.
Okay.
But it goes kind of like yikes when he's like he just get turned on with every food, you know.
Okay.
And that's not the fetish I like, you know. Same thing to race, you know. I think it can happen if somebody has like if someone can say like things like, you know, I think Asian girls are really cute, or I think white girls are really gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that. I have nothing against that. But when it comes to only
Yeah.
And this is a moment you feel like,
and this
I know
is right,
about
and this
that,
is
yeah.
the conversation. This is when you start getting into things about like bias and
Yeah.
preference.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother conversation. But today we're talking about
Yeah, like there's a basic difference between saying, oh, she's beautiful and she's black, and damn, she's black and she's beautiful. There's a difference.
Yeah,
There's a difference,
that's okay. Yeah, I feel you on that. There
Yeah.
is. That's actually
Yeah.
All right, Juno with the gems. Juno with the gems.
What fetish defines? It says fetish, noun, a form of sexual desire in which gratification is linked to an abnormal degree to a particular object, item of clothing, part of the body.
Okay, yeah.
So
Object.
abnormal degree, linked to an abnormal degree. So
It's not normal.
Yeah.
It's not normal. Okay. So like, my question is, as a Korean man living in your home country of Korea, also an Asian man, what would you say have been your experiences as far as like normal compared to someone where you're like, okay, I'm pretty sure she likes me, but she has a fetish. Like, I'm feeling like this person is.
What do you mean? Like, you mean like, how can I tell that?
Number one, have you had this experience?
I have some, and I've seen some. I've
So
seen
what
a lot.
about the ones that you have had? If you have an experience with a person, and you're like, oh, I think they have a fetish for Asian guys. or
But
whatever.
it's hard for me to tell, to be honest, because I actually can talk with them, So when I see the guys with their like or something, and they really can't talk to each other, they're still doing the lovey-dovey shit or something. I kind of assume that I know it's bad. I know it's kind of judgmental, but I kind of assume that like they maybe
So like when you
like each other.
So like you see an Asian guy here in Korea and a white girl, a white foreigner.
Yeah.
Is this what you think comes to your mind?
But not all the time, because
Not
some
all the
people
time.
actually hold a conversation, But I see a lot of couples that actually can't really talk to each other.
Oh, like you mean they can't communicate?
Yeah, they can't communicate. I mean, like her Korean is like pretty baby style,
Yeah.
and then his English the same.
Okay.
And they can talk about how was the baby and all that, but
Yeah.
they really can't go further. And I'm not really sure that's what they are linked together,
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, I just seen some girls, like especially when on the Tinder and that, people talk. Because I mean, I'm not making a stereotype here or something. There's a lot of foreigners that are cool to hear too.
Yeah.
But I've seen some few people just came to Korea because they really like Saban, K-pop, K-drama things, and they start to like fantasize them.
Yeah.
And so they have kind of like, fantasize and all that. So some people come to the Korea and they face the reality and they're like, maybe this is not what I expected. But some people say keep going on. Some people like, hell yeah, I'm in the Korea. I gotta bang this one.
Yeah, they're trying to get that Korean dick. Oh, okay, I feel you. I feel like it's probably a good mix of people, but I feel like I've had conversations with people here, like I'm talking about like women, other foreigner women, and I've heard someone be like, oh, I really like Korean guys, like I really like Korean, like just talking like this, and to me it's like, it's hard to tell. Is this a fetish thing, or like what's the reason you like them? I guess it's the reason.
It's
right?
really hard to tell because like, I mean, I have some Korean friends, and they're some dude friends. They talk to me like, about like, how the mindset is different from Korean girls and the Western girls especially. But you have to be careful though, because you can't just generalize it.
Yeah.
It depends on person,
Yeah.
Like, so like you say, it's kind of hard to tell when someone is like, when my friends say like, you know what, I think I'm more comfortable with like Western girls because they're more open.
Okay.
They don't have anything taboo, something like that.
Right.
And for me, when I'm listening, when I'm hearing that, it's hard for me to tell. Like, so is he fantasizing them or just he mean that? It's kind of like same thing as a racism shit, Because some people sometimes throw some racism jokes, but sometimes they mean it, or sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. You know?
Yeah,
So, it's a kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, well, sometimes, well, maybe they mean it, and sometimes it's internalized. Like, because we all know, it's a known thing that when it comes to like black women, especially being over here in Korea, there's definitely, because we stand out. Like, I mean, you know, even us as friends, walking around, it's kind of seen like that dude was just standing right there. You see that? That guy was just.
He was staring at you.
Yeah, well, probably could. He's like, not me. He's staring at your black ass. But like, that's what I'm saying. We stand out. So, and it's even me because you know all of this. So like, you're going to get the stares, but then because of that, I feel like when it comes to the relationships, that's when it's like, well, I don't know. Do they like me? And then there's the other, I mean, yeah, do they like me for me, or is it like, because this one guy I had a conversation with, he's like, oh, your black skin is sexy. So you can ask any black woman, if you're on a dating app and somebody's talking about like your skin, that's like the #1 flag that ding, 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 like this person's probably like, this is more like a fetish thing.
Yeah, because
you know,
like sometimes it makes you feel like you're a thing.
Right, it's the objectification.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. But then there's like the dynamic of man versus woman, because for a woman dealing with fetishization is different from a man dealing with it.
It's
And
definitely,
definitely.
I know what you mean.
I feel like if a guy is being fetishized, that it doesn't really. How do I say? It doesn't really hit
doesn't
them
turn guys down.
Yeah, it doesn't turn them off, and it doesn't hit their psyche the way that it does a woman. Because at least for a woman, it's like, okay, we know that this is like purely asexual. Like your body. It's not. You're not a person. You're a body, something that they want to get from you. They want to take something, they want something from you, they want to use you. Your body has nothing to do with you as a person or a mind. This is like the core, really, of fetishization. Is something that they're focused on. That's with all fetishes. Like, there's something that they're focused on in a way that is mentally, it's a little abnormal, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's an obsession almost. So, but when it comes to guys, it's like, you know,
simply speaking, let me show you something. You know, if there's a, like, maybe imagine there's a hot, tall, sexy looking Asian dudes talking to you and say things like, you know, oh, I really like that you're dark skin, all that. Even though he's super hot or something, you'd be like, kind of like, but I'm not really sure about this. I'm not really sure about, like, is this me or is my skin, whatever, you know. But for guys, if some sexy, hot looking, some hot chicks out there, they're saying some shit like, you know, I love Asian men, I gotta be like, bang me, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
I don't have to think twice, you know. Like, you want that too, you know.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You know who this really, who's not, I don't want to say who suffers, but like who really deals with this a lot is black men are like this is very common for them. Because their situation is, what's the #1 thing that everybody knows about black men?
I gave her D.
Huh? What?
It's a song lyrics.
No, I'm not, no. Did you say I gave her D? Like, dick?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on Kanye's song, if I remember correctly. I'm not really sure, but...
No. But so, the #1 stereotype that
the black male
is what? Everyone knows this.
I'm not really sure about what's the #1, but we have a stereotype about athlete. They're really athletic, you know. They're good at sports.
But no, like black men. If there's something that black men are fetishized about, what is it?
You want me to say that word?
Yeah, you can say it. You can say the word. Oh my God, don't be scared. Stop it.
Penis?
Yes, okay, there we go. Yes, that they are very well endowed when it comes to penises and stuff like that. But see, the thing is that that's technically a fetishization thing, but I feel like it's a stereotype that it's never gone away, and I don't think black men have ever really, they're okay with it. they're okay with it, I think. For
I
the
mean,
most
who
part.
wouldn't like that, to be
But
honest?
that, at the same time, nobody really wants someone like walking up to them, like, you know. I've heard of that. I've heard of some guys dealing with it, some black men dealing with that. So like saying stuff like, so how big is it? You know, stuff which is inappropriate. That's actually inappropriate, and it's kind of like, well, it's not kind of, it is a form of sexual harassment.
I mean,
too, that some women
I
do to
remember
men,
like I was in a
so.
spa before,
Yeah.
which is like, it's pretty long ago. I think I was 19 or 20. It was like 3 or 4 years ago. I was in spa with my dad, and so there's like some few people in the like spa, just like hanging there and just chilling. And there's one black dude who came over. I think he was kind of, I don't know why he went there, but I think it was kind of tourist thing for him.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, as soon as he entered the door, all the people in the spa was looking at him, but not his face. But you know where they're looking at, they're like,
Yeah.
and I'm like,
I wonder how he felt. That
I'm
must have been
like,
really
this
awkward.
that is actually harassment, you know, if you think about it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So it's like, it definitely, I think when it comes to men and fetishization, it definitely affects, because when it, for men, like, you know, if fetishization is not really, I think it's not good, but it's not something, it doesn't affect them in the same way as us. If anything, they're okay with it. They'll let it slide because it's like, hey, I'm getting, you know, I'm getting girls, I'm getting chicks, so it's like,
Okay,
not really, yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like, you know,
when guys fuck with a lot of girls, they brag about it. They're like, you know how many girls I've banged before? But not many girls do that. Some girls do that. My friends do that to me. They talk about all their sexual life, which I don't want to hear about. But like they do.
your Korean friends.
No, my other friends.
Oh, like foreigners.
Yeah.
But Koreans don't talk like that.
They
do
don't like that. Yeah.
When it's open talking.
But
about
in
sex.
here, you know, like, you know, for guys, it's okay to brag about it, about how sexually dry person he is. But for girls, it's not really okay sometimes.
It's because it's still, Korea's still conservative in a way when it comes to women and like that whole thing. So, because I kind of feel like it's that whole patriarchy thing. So this is why, like you said, if how do I put it? It's kind of, I see this on the flip side too, because it's like you said, Korean girls with a foreign guy here, people are looking at them, it's like they're kind of like fast or loose, right?
True.
And then if it's a guy, it's like very impressive if it's a guy, Korean guy with like, especially a white girl. But I find the interesting, like as far as being a black woman, and you saw this the other night when we were in Itaewon. Remember when you were smoking a cigarette?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah,
and it was like, I guess, I don't know. I'm going to take a guess. This could be wrong, but I'm going to take a guess and say that he was like Nigerian or African or something. And he was dressed like it was like the early 2000s, the late 99s and the 2000s or something like that.
Back in the old school.
Yeah, sorry. I'm like, sometimes when people be hardcore staring, I'm just like, I just feel like waving. But anyway, so yeah, so this guy was like dressed like, you know, it was like from the Nelly Hot in Here video and whatever, and he was with the Korean girl. So this guy was walking, we had just finished dinner, he was having a cigarette, and this guy walked by. I wasn't really paying attention. It wasn't until you told me, and as I looked back at this guy, he was walking by. This dude was staring me dead in my face. Dead in my face.
He was even looking back while him passing by.
Yeah. And the thing is, it's like, I don't know what that's about, and I think I know, but it was like, I feel like it's not the first time that this has happened. It's actually happened to me before here, where I've seen like a black guy and he's with a Korean girl. Maybe, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it's his friend, maybe it's his partner. It's not my goddamn business, first of all. I don't care. But this dude was like, and I'm walking by myself. This is the other incident. I'm walking by myself, and this guy, we're like this close, and he's like looking at me, and I was like looking at him, not smiling. He's just like. I'm like, okay, and then finally I said hello, like, you know, and he was like, oh, and he responded, he's like, I'm good.
You said it?
Yeah, or something like that. He responded, you know how some people are like, oh, hello, how are you doing? I'm fine. I didn't say how are you doing, I just said hello, but it's like, I really don't know what that was about.
Sounds like he doesn't,
but
get
it's kind of like,
like
there's still this thing where if there's black women seen with another guy or something like that, that's not black, people are like, you know.
I mean, talking about black woman and all that, I think I watched this from like the, I forgot where it's from, but I watched the news one time, and there was like a survey about people, and it was like, so they're asking male and female in different ways about what do you think about more sexually attracted to race, about other gender. And you know, number one is absolutely the white boys and white girls in both males and females.
Of course.
And which was really pretty sad because among the female, the black women are the lowest.
Oh yeah, always.
And then among the male, the Asian man was the lowest. And and what is even more sad is because even black dudes pick the black girls as the lowest, and even Asian girls pick the. So we are not really welcome in our own race too. So it makes me sad. I'm like, okay, oh come on, girl.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is why I don't think you know who Issa Rae. He doesn't know who Issa Rae is. If anybody's watching this, there was like this big to-do back in the day about Issa Rae, who she's a writer, actor, like producer. She started on YouTube and like has shows on HBO. She's amazing. But she was in her book. It's called Misadventures of an Awkward Black Girl. It's really funny. It's a funny book, and it's like satire. And in the book, she talked about the statistic, and she was saying, and she's from California, or she spent a lot of time growing up in California and stuff. So she was saying like, because of the statistic that black women and Asian men would be the perfect match, because black women now more than ever are more educated. Like we go to college at a higher rate than a lot of people in the US, but so are Asian men. Asian men are very, for the most part, financially stable, and they're like kind of family oriented and stuff.
Are we good at math?
This is why
we suck at driving.
She was joking in the book. This book was like written 3-4 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
And she was joking around basically about black women, Asian men getting together, since we're like we're on the lowest of the totem pole, getting together and taking over this shit. And like, I don't know, it resurfaced like maybe like last year or something, or earlier this year. People were like upset with her about this comment, or a lot of black men were like, you know. But anyway, that's a whole nother tangent. But
yeah. And don't get me wrong, though, I like white girls too. But,
yeah,
I love them, but
of course you do.
You know me, like. So just in case,
in case anybody's watching,
is anybody watching this video, there'll be my Instagram link in the, maybe intro the video or the outro the video. I don't know.
The Instagram link is gonna be like right here.
Slide into my DM. I'll be happy to join a conversation with you. You know.
Damn, he's just like, it's gonna happen too. It's gonna happen. Ever since the last
black girls,
video,
Asian girls, white girls, whoever.
Thirst trapping. I feel like every video we're going to do like a new vocab word for him, even though like this dude's pretty much like I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're fluent as fuck. But thirst trapping. So y'all watching this video, we know, we see y'all thirsting. We see you thirsting behind the screen. But anyway.
Tell me. 네 옆에 있는 남자 괴롭힌 깡통이야 no 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 늘 점퍼 입고 나와 I'm about to jump up with you 친구한테 말해 oh